A cool new attraction has opened right next to Niagara Falls. Pretty cool stuff. Welcome to Global News Daily. I am your host, David Carson. Before we get started, please check out blackoutcoffee.com for some of America's best coffee, tea, and hot cocoa on the market. Use offer code Global News Daily at checkout to get 10% off of your next purchase. Order now at blackoutcoffee.com. Also, if you like what we're doing here, make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to this channel for daily news updates, and make sure you share this to help spread the news. CNN reports a huge tunnel has opened below Niagara Falls. Pretty cool. Let's check this out. Look at this picture, man. These are cool. It's so late. It was built so long ago. This one is definitely my favorite. This is cool. What a shot. All right, let's read. A whitewater wonder visited by everyone from Marilyn Monroe to Mark Twain, Niagara Falls has been a magnet drawing global travelers for at least 2 centuries. But until this year, a huge tunnel buried deep below the cascade has been off limits to visitors. The rocks beneath the gigantic triple waterfall that straddles the border between the U.S. state of New York City and Canada's province of Ontario are honeycombed with chambers carved out of the carved out to harness the powerful forces of nature thundering overhead. And now, a 270 meter, that's 2,198 feet, tunnel built more than a century ago on the Canadian side has been opened up to reveal the awesome scale of these engineering marvels. Since July 2022, it's been part of tours of a decommissioned Niagara Parks Power Station tour, which began a year earlier. Exploring it offers a fascinating glimpse into pioneering work that helped bring the corner of North America into the modern age. The power station, which operated from 1905 to 2006, diverted water from the mighty Niagara River to run power giant generators that electrified regional industry and contributed to nearby Great Lakes port of Buffalo becoming known as the City of Light. How awesome. The region around the waterfall, according to station tour guide Alina Zorik, was once a hub of activity for businessmen who wanted to cash in on harnessing hydropower. The Adams hydroelectric power plant was the first to open, operating in the U.S. side from 1895 to 1961. On the Canadian side, the Ontario Power Company operated from 1905 to 1999, and the Toronto Power Generating Station from 1906 to 1974. Blended architecture. Today, the Niagara Park Station is one of the world's only fully intact hydroelectric plants of its era. Originally operated by the Canadian Niagara Power Company, it used Westinghouse generators to create alternating currents patented by inventor Nikola Tesla, cutting-edge technology at the time. The plant, as tour guide Zurich explains to visitors, was built at a time when aesthetics ruled. Its rustic limestone exterior and blue roof tiles were, she says, an attempt by New York architect Algernon S. Bell to make structural blend with the falls. To make the structure blend with the falls. Before reaching the tunnel, visitors of the power station are shown a scale model of the massive engineering works that went into converting the pounding water into electricity. Zurich shows where the water came in, where it ran down a shaft to power the turbines, and then where it went through a tunnel to a discharge point at the base of the Horseshoe Falls, the largest of Niagara Falls' 3 cascades. Marcello Grosso, Senior Director of Engineering and Operation with Niagara Parks Commission, has been involved with the project since it was first envisioned in 2017. The plant started out with 2 generators, and by 1924, all 11 were installed, which you could see here today, he says, walking through the high-ceilinged buildings. The high-ceilinged building to point out a line of blue cylindrical generators that fill the space. Besides every generator is a governor, which regulated the water flow to the turbine. An air brake in the governor helped adjust the flow. They needed 250 RPM exactly to give them 25 hertz. One of a kind. The glass elevator takes visitors down 55 meters past the 6 levels of infrastructure required for the hydropower generation process. At the bottom of the tunnel where the water would exit. There's 2 different sentences there, but whatever. The tunnel, which is almost 8 meters tall and 6 meters wide, is also an historic one-of-a-kind attraction and is included in the power plant's price of admission. It took thousands of workers 4 years to excavate the shell beneath the main generating room using lanterns, dynamite, pickaxes, and shovels, says Grosso. On the way down, the water would spin the turbine blades, says Grosso. They were connected to a 41-meter-long shaft and went all the way back to the main floor and spun the rotor in an alternator, generating the AC power. Walking along the tunnel's arched passageways, he gestured to chalky white marks that reach almost to the top of the arched brick walls. You could see how high the water went, he says. The tunnel held 71,000 gallons of water that moved at 9 meters per second. Terrifying. Built like a fortress, the gently curved tunnel comprises 4 layers of brick and 18 inches of concrete and is surrounded by shale. It's amazing what they did with no electricity. They built this with no electricity. It's amazing. We did some minor brick repairs and added rock anchors to the arch to ensure structural integrity, but it's in really good shape. They only ever did maintenance twice since it was built, once in the 1950s and once in the 1990s. Stuff held up so well. Near the end of the tunnel, a rumbling begins to fill the air. Natural light pours in as the path exits into a 20-meter river-level viewing platform that is almost at the base of the Horseshoe Falls. Grosso has to shout to be heard over the ceaseless pounding. This is where the water from the tunnel poured into the river. It's the best place to see the falls. This platform also gives visitors a perch to watch the tourist boats, filled with passengers in rain ponchos, bobbing like corks at the foot of the falls. To round out the power plant experience, there's an evening show titled Currents, Niagara's Power Transformed. The light and sound experience outlines the power plant's history and includes 3D projectors of surging water, turbines, and sparks of electricity. A visit to the power station and tunnel takes around 2 hours, but to attend the evening show, an overnight stay is recommended. Accommodation ranges from higher-end fall views hotels such as the Hilton, a budget-conscious establishment like the Days Inn. As for dining, Niagara Falls was once strictly a hot dog and fries kind of town. Fast food is still around, but the destination has upped its game. Chef-inspired, locally sourced menus are available at Niagara Park's establishments, including Table Rock House Restaurant, as well as independent dining spots such as AG, which features produce from its own farm. Also worth checking out is the Niagara Parkway, which winds along the Niagara River and can be explored on foot or by renting an e-bike. Stops along the way include Whirlpool Lookout Point and Sir Adam Beck Generating Station, a monolithic structure along the river that currently contributes to southern Ontario's electrical grid. A trip to Niagara Falls is energizing in so many ways. It's a place of natural beauty, but it can also make you think twice about the natural forces that continue to shape our modern lives. Yeah, this is really cool. I don't know if you've been to Niagara Falls, but I've been there. It's been a while, though. I'd love to go back. It looks great, especially with this new addition. But what do you think? Do you like it? You think it's a cool place to visit? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video.